Yai la la la, ya 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 la 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 la, yai la, yai la la, yai la 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 la, yai la, yai la. Hello, welcome to Tish B'Av service from Congregation or Tzion. I'm very glad that you're here. And we're going to start on page 18 in the online Siddur. והוא רחום יכפר עוון ולא ישחית, והרבה להשיב אפו ולא יאיר כל חמתו. המלך יעננו ביום קורנו, ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני מבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בדברו מעריב ברבים וחוכמה פותח שערים ותבונה משנה עתים, ומחליף את הזמנים מסדר את החומרים ומפלטיהם. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, מבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב הרבים. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה מצוות חוקים ומשפטים. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, בהם נגע יומם בלילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. Page 20. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We continue to ourselves. אם שמוע תשמעו מצוותיי אשר אנוכי. ומה ידעו לכם ימי חוש. ויאמר אדוני משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף בתל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית וריתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת
כל זאת קיים עליהם כיווי אדוני אלוהינו אלינו תגובתו. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך בעלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נודעתי לו עושה פלא מלכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים זה לי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל Yisrael. We continue on page 24. Actually, let's do 25, the top of page 25 in our Siddur. We have the English of Hashkivenu, and I'd like to offer these words out loud. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler, guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Praised are you, Adonai, eternal guardian of your people. Ushmor tzeitenu vo'enu l'chaim u'l'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Baruch atah Adonai, shomer amo Yisrael. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen. Baruch Adonai Tzion shebenu Yerushalayim, hallelujah. The glory of Adonai shall endure forever. Adonai shall rejoice in God's works. Praise the glory of Adonai now and always. For the sake of God's glory, God will not abandon God's people. Adonai desires to make us God's own. Help us, Adonai, our God, and deliver us, gather us, and free us from oppression. On page 26, in the middle paragraph, Ki hamachut shelcha hi ul'omea timloch bechavod, ki ein lanu melech ela ata, baruch ata Adonai, hamelech bichvodo tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, ve'al kol ma'asav.
We'll continue with Chatzi Kaddish, and after that, we rise for the silent Amida. This Amida is like all other Amidas. The evening service is we don't repeat it. When you begin, take 3 steps back and bow. When you end, take 3 steps forward. We continue with the silent Amida on page 30 through 38. Please rise.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'b'yomechon u'b'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'gala u'b'zman kari v'imru, Amen. Yehesh me'Rabba mevarach le'olam u'l'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yinaseh v'yithadak v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei d'kedusha rechu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran v'alma v'imru. Amen. שבינו שופטים כבר ראשונם יועצים כבר תחילה וסר ממנו יגון מהנחה הצדיקים והחסידים והזקני עמך בית ישראל ועל פליטת סופריהם ועל גרי הצדק מעלינו יאמרו רחמך אדוני אלוהינו תן שכר טוב לכל הבוטחים בשמך באמת ושמחה אלוקינו עמהם ולעולמי לא נבוש כי לא בך בטחנו ברוך אתה אדוני משם ומפח לצדיקים. Hear our voice, Adonai, our God, have compassion upon us. Pity us, accept our prayer with loving favor. You listen to our prayer, do not turn us away unanswered. Baruch atah Adonai, shomea tefillah. Modim anachnu lo shatanu. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Vel Yoshvei Tevel Tasimei Olam. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. בעלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי חון וימי חון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל. בעגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך. לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה. בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן תתקבל סוטן באו תהון בך ישראל קודם אבוהון ובשמיא ואמרו אמן יהי שלום רבה מן שמיא וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Cantor, for your beautiful voice. We're getting ready now to read the Book of Lamentations, Echa. And one of the highlights and one of the good parts, or the best part of this very depressing holiday of Tisha B'Av, is the just absolutely gorgeous melody that we chant Echa to. And so Cantor will start us off with a few lines on with a Torah study about the book.
Echa yashva vadad ha'ir rabati am hayta ke'almana rabati bagoyim. Okay. I don't know if you noticed. Nobody probably did. I actually used Shir HaShirim trope. So I'm going to reverse and I'm going to start again.
Thank you for giving us a comparison to the Shir HaShirim and the Eighth verse. That's a very sophisticated mistake to make, Cantor. It's a very sophisticated mistake.
Thank you. Well, I knew I would never, I'm in a trope I can't get out. So I'd rather start so people can hear the proper trope to use for Echa. Echa yashva badad ha'ir rabati am hayta ke'amana rabati vagoyim sarati b'medinot הייתה להמס, פחות תבכה בלילה, ודמעתה על לחיה, אין לה מנחם מכל אוהביה. Kore'eha bagduva hayula le'oivim. Galta Yehuda me'oni umerov avoda yashva v'goyim lo matza manoach korod fehem hisikuha ben hamitzanim darchei Tzion avelot mibli ba'emoed kol se'areha shomenim kohaneha ne'enachim v'tuloteha nukot vehimarlach hayutzareha lerosh oiveha shalu ki Adonai hogah al ro peshaeha olaleha achushvi lifnei tzad.
Thank you so much, Cantor. I just was writing a chat. If you are watching us live, there's going to be a part of the sermon that's going to be chat that you'll have chances to put in what you think, and I will read them on the air. So hopefully people will participate in that. So while I'm talking, go find the chat and say hello. Now we're talking about the book. We're on Tisha B'Av. Tonight we read the book of Lamentations. It's called Echa in Hebrew, Lamentations. Echa is a series of 5 poems. And tradition says they're authored by the prophet Jeremiah. I don't know, every time I hear Jeremiah, I think of that song, Jeremiah was a bullfrog, a very good friend of mine. So that's the song. This is the prophet. Anyway, way to remember the book. Cantor is breathing hard, telling me to breathe. Thank you, Cantor. Echa is divided into 5 chapters, and each chapter is a separate poem. The poems describe the destruction of Jerusalem, the first temple, and the exile that follows. The poems are beautiful laments, our Bible's most powerful expressions of grief and sorrow. There are other psalms, other poems of mourning found in the Bible. However, Echa is linguistically sophisticated and contains the most moving imagery of them all. Because of this emotional punch, Echa is not only applied to the destruction of the first temple, but almost every other destruction, past and present. So now what I want us to do, it's a little odd virtually, but although it kind of fits, because now that our community gathering place, our community temple is no longer with us, and we are all struggling to find a different way to worship. I want to explore that and how it is applicable to our times. So I'm going to, Rachel Barenblatt, a rabbi who's wonderful, she made a great example of this reinterpretation of the verses. Those of you who are in my class know that I love making Bible applicable to us into our everyday lives. So I'm going to ask Scott to put up the first line of Echa, the first slide. And this is what the slide says, what the first line is saying. How solitary sits the city, once filled with people. She who was great among the nations is now like a widow, once a princess among the provinces, now a tolling slave. And I thought the solitary city was really applicable to our time, because now we have all these spaces that were once filled and bustling are now very quiet and desolate and lonely. So I wanted to read a part of her poem called Crying Out. It says, lonely sits the city once great with people. Her subways now empty, her classrooms closed. Refrigerator tucks await the bodies of the dead, wrapped in sheets of plastic and stacked like logs. Mourners keep a painful distance, unable to embrace. At testing sites, cars line up for hours before dawn, only to be turned away when swabs and reagents run out. At food pantries, cars line up for hours before dawn, creeping across asphalt until a stranger masked and gloved places a too small box of food in the trunk. We stay home to protect the vulnerable. We pace our confined spaces, memorize every inch of the wall. Our synagogues are shuttered. We are exiles to Zoom. We cry out from the depths, do you suffer with us, God? Who will we be when the pandemic is gone? That I thought was a very powerful, and I don't want to leave it there though, because the Eicha does continue. And I want us to make our own interpretation. So if you can, in the chat box, I want to ask you how you would interpret the following verses. Can we Scott, can we have slide number 2? Great. I gotta just move.
It's so applicable to how we're feeling.
Yeah.
It really is. I'm sorry. Continue, Rabbi Zeri. It's just
Thank you.
It's really incredible how these ancient texts and expressions of our ancient selves have such an echo and reverberation now. So it just really struck me. But I want to let people in the chat sort of also have a say. So I'm sorry, Rabbi Sari, please continue.
Thank you. No, thank you, Dana, and thank you, Cantor. I hope other people will find their way to have a say. We're going to read them. So yes, thank you. And so, and later on in Lamentations, there's this destruction and just awfulness. The whole city of Jerusalem is just destroyed. And it says, and then the poet says, my soul well remembers and is downcast within me. He's upset. This I reply to my heart. Therefore I have hope. The kindness of the Lord never cease. Indeed, his mercies never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I will wait, hope in the Lord. So here, the poet finds faith and hope in the middle of this great distress. And somehow he's finding a way to lift up his soul. And so now that we're in this time of a solitary city and social distancing and loneliness, how do you keep positive during these difficult times? How do you turn your soul to faith and hope? So I'm going to open it up. Hopefully I will see some answers in the chat. Let me see. Check. Oh, great. So we've got Jason Pfeffer, hello. I miss sitting with everyone. Yeah, me too. Frank Jacobson says hello, Rabbi and Cantor. Frank Jacobson says, agree, Jason, very lonely. Glad we have each other this way at least. I agree. This is a silver lining. Mark Krell says, I miss it very much because I have read Eicha chapter 1 over the last few years over at Tzion. Oh, I'm looking forward to hearing that from you. Mark Cantor says, it feels strange to be separated in such a way. We're experiencing something of what our ancestors felt. Yes, very much so. Very, very much so. Melvin Glazer, hello, Melvin. The pain is real, for it is not dark when we are alone, but in a strange way. Okay. Yeah. Cantor, these verses are from chapter 3.
I was just explaining, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Chapter 3, verses 20 through 21. And Frank Jacobson says, hope in a vaccine very soon. Yes, that's definitely a hope that we have a vaccine very soon. Maybe that's something we want to hold on to, that even though it seems like we're going to be inside forever, there are armies of doctors working in vaccines and on cures and this will not last forever. This too shall pass. So that is a good thing. And Frank also says, faith in people will find a way to repair ourselves and finally get back together. Amen, Frank. Amen to that. Great. I'm really glad. Thank you for all the participation. I hope that whatever way we find it, I find it in prayer, I find it in hope for a positive future. But whatever it is, I hope that everybody is holding on to this faith and hope, and the realization that we can, and the realization that things will get better. And as awful as the Tisha B'Av was, the truth was our religion adapted and survived, because that's what we do. So hopefully we will find that same strength and that same positivity, is that a word? Positive to go on. Thank you. And so now we're going to listen. I'm going to turn it back over. So thank you. And I'm going to turn it back over to the cantor to sing the last bits of Echa and just that gorgeous trope.
Thank you. I'm going to offer the words of chapter 5. Zechor Adonai mehaya lanu habita u'et cherpatenu nachalatenu nehefcha lezarim batenu lenochrim Yitumim hayinu ve'en av imotenu ke'almanot meimenu bechesaf shatinu etzenu bimchir yavo'u al tzavarenu nirdafnu yaganu velohu nachlanu Mitzrayim natanu yad Ashur lisboa lachem Avotenu chatu ve'enam V'anachnu avonotehem savalnu Avadim mashluvanu Porek ein miyadam Benafshenu navi lachmenu Mipnei cherev hamidbar Oreinu ketanur nichmaru mipnei zal afot ra'av. Nashim b'Tzion inu betulot be'are Yehuda. Sarim b'yadam nitlu penei zkenim lo nehedaru. Bachurim techon nasa'u Une'arim ba'et kashalu, Zekenim misha'ar shavatu, Bachurim miniginatam. Shavat mesos libenu, Nepach le'evel mecholenu, Nafla ateret roshenu, Oina lanu ki chatanu. Al zeh hayadav libeinu al elech hashchu einenu al har Tzion sheshamem shu'alim yilchu bo ata Adonai leolam teshev kis'acha ledor vador Lama lanetzach tishkachenu, ta'azvenu leorech yamim. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva, chadesh yameinu kekedem. Ki ima'as me'astanu, katzafta aleinu ad me'od. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva chadesh yameinu kekedem.
Thank you, Cantor. Kadesh Yameinu kekedem. May our days be made new like the days of old. Let's continue with Kaddish Shalom. committing tikabal sloton and vaton.
Yitgadal vitkadash shemei rabba. Be'alma dibra kirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon v'yamechon u'b'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. V'agalav yizman karivim ru. Amen. Yeheshme rabba mevarach. Le'alam u'lo me'almaya yitbarach. Yitbarach v'ishtabach v'pa'ar v'traman v'naseh yitadar v'taleh v'talal shmet kudsha richu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiram v'yama v'imru amen yehesh lama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru amen ohoseh shalom imromav uyaseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshmei tevel, v'imru, amen. We rise for the Aleinu on the next page, page 164. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye ha'aratzot, ve'lo samanu, כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שם השמיים ויוסד הארץ, משה בקרוב בשמיים ממעל, שכינתו סביבו מרום. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You're on mute, Rabbi Sussman.
Thank you. We recall with affection those who no longer walk this earth. We are grateful to God for the gift of their lives, for their companionship, and their cherished memories that endure. In tribute to our loved ones, we invite those who are in mourning or observing Yahrzeit to join in reciting the Kaddish. Yit gadal ve'yit kadash shemei rabba, ve'alma divrach sirute ve'amlich machute, ve'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'chaye techol beit Yisrael, va'agala u'vizman kari ve'imru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'alam olamei almaya. Yit barach ve'yishtabach ve'yitfa'ar ve'yitraman ve'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kudusha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tishbechata v'nechemata. V'amiran ve'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlam rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. V'imru. Amen. May the one who brings peace to us, to his universe, bring peace to us and to all of Israel and to the bereaved wherever they may be. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. Thank you for joining Rabbi Sussman and I. Rabbi Sussman, thank you for your teaching. It really is, I'm really struck, very struck by how such an ancient text can have such relevance right now. And it's both a blessing to understand a little bit of the emotional outpouring of our ancestors, as difficult as it is that we're in the position now. I actually think that I think it helps connect us in such a visceral way to what's happening in Eicha. So thank you, Rabbi Sussman. As we're concluding our service tonight, we'll be having our Tisha B'Av services tomorrow morning at 7:30. We will be live streaming. If you are fasting, have a very easy fast. It is very, very hot still. So for the sake of pikuach nefesh, of saving a life, if you do need to drink, please do. It is okay. We need to be healthy also. So have a very safe and easy fast, and we'll see you in the morning. Thank you, Rabbi Sussman, and thank you, Scott Wiggin.
Thank you, Cantor. Thank you, Scott, and thank you to everybody who participated in the chat. See you tomorrow. Bye,